Hi, I'm Rhonda Payne, and I'm the mother of the U.S. citizen Christopher Stephen Payne, who has been unlawfully detained in Japan in solitary confinement for 4 years and 2 months. Today, I will talk about Donald Trump's role, President Donald Trump's role in this whole entire situation. So let me break this down to you. Number one, President Trump, I pray that you see this because I need to ask you this question. How is it that you can steal a whole entire president from a whole nother country and still not go over and get an unlawful detainee, which in fact that you wrote a full executive order for? Let me read this to you. On September 2025, an executive order establishing a state sponsor of wrongful detention designation to punish foreign nations or non-state actors that illegally detain U.S. nationals. It enables the State Department to impose sanctions, including economic penalties, visa bans, and travel restrictions to high-risk countries. So you are not going to tell me that you are not supposed to be in there getting my son. I'm going to tell you why. On December 31st, 2025, from the office of President Donald Trump or the United States State Department, dear Miss Rhonda T. Payne, thank you for your letter on December 16th. 2025 to President Donald J. Trump concerning your son's incarceration in Japan. The Department of State's Office of American Citizen Services and Crisis Management has responsibility for such matters, and we have been asked to respond to your inquiry. Our office in Washington is closely tracking your son's judicial case and well-being, including his recent victory in the Supreme Court of Japan. We are also aware of the consular office recent visit with Mr. Payne on December 17th, which so happens to be my son's birthday. During that visit, the consular office spoke intensively with Mr. Payne about his case, reviewed his current health, and provided him with English language reading material, which of course he doesn't need. Now look at this. This here, well, you know what? I have to look it up. I'll put it in the comments below so you can see the letter from President Trump's office. So how is it that you got all this in place? You know that my son is there. You know that he won his case. They overturned the case because there was a lack of evidence. In fact, you know it's a miscarriage of justice because they took and they planted information on him. The judges were involved. The prosecutors were involved. Everybody was involved. And you took and your people sent a letter stating that they know what's going on, that they sent people in, that they're tracking this case from Washington, that they know that there's no case. My son is sitting there with a no visa because he couldn't work, so that visa expired, or they were taking that away. He has no passport because that expired. He's sitting there in a detention center in solitary confinement, which he has been there for 4 years and 2 months with no conviction. And you can go and get another president who was guilty and bring him to this country, but you cannot go get a lawful citizen who is not guilty and bring him back to his mama. And you are supposed to be our president. Now, this is the thing. You know how that letter got to me, President Trump? I literally had to write and say, Biden and Harris didn't do a good job in this situation, which we're going to talk about that later, because they didn't, because Biden also put an executive order in for the same exact thing. My son went in 2021. Biden put it in 2022, and he left out and left the responsibility on somebody else. So they didn't do their job either. And the president, vice president was in control and supposed to have been over international relations. So how did that get out of her hand? So this is the thing. President Trump, I know that you can only do so much because you got people that are behind you that are doing it. But it's funny how I ended up getting back to that, how I got that letter written was because I wrote in the letter that they did a terrible job and I knew that you could do a better job. So I knew that I was blowing smoke to get you and your people to respond. So don't disappoint me. Since I went through all of that and did all of that, why not just do exactly what I had faith in you to do? That you could go over there. Look, Air Force One, gas it up. Fly on over there. Talk to homegirl, the prime minister. You knew what happened when they got that other prime minister out of office because he was mishandling the hostage justice system, which my son is in. This is literally a miscarriage of justice, and you are sitting on this. Please get in there and do what you do. You can get the credit. I ain't got no problem with you having credit for it. But bring my son home safely. Bring him to me. And then the thing that gets me is it says that you establish a state sponsor of wrongful detention. So this is the thing. Is my government supposed to be involved with this? Because if so, my government has only been going behind making deals with the Japanese to bring things over here for people to work. While you have an unlawful detainee who's a U.S. citizen sitting in their detention centers, innocent. So you got to help me make this make sense. Help me make sense the fact that you can go get a criminal and bring him to our country, not even from our country, but yet you can't go get a person who's not a criminal or who's not guilty and bring him back to the country safely, which they even stated that if he was in this country, his case never would have made it to the system because it was never a case. Unlawful detention. Even the United Nations, and we'll deal with them too. Nobody's getting involved. So get in touch with the Prime Minister for me, President Donald Trump. Do what you do. Get it on out there. And remember, 4,000 characters. I'll be getting in touch with you with those 3,999 characters every other day to request again that you would do what the taxpayers voted you in to do. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye. And if all of you are watching this, please share this. Subscribe, because I'm going to go through every single person that I contacted that refused to contact me back, because I guess this is not worth doing. Presidents, prime ministers, you have mayors, you have Congress people, all the newspapers, all of them. And this is going to be in good fun because, knowing more than anything, I want you to celebrate with me when my son comes home. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.